What's going on? This is Sherry, and you are tuned into She Said What She Said, the podcast where we interview badass women in the sports world and beyond. And before we get started with our guest this evening, I'm going to bring in my co host. She'll make you say, okay, hey, Bae. Hi, Faye.
Hello, Miss Sherry. How are you?
I think I'm just making things up at this
You
point.
are. That's okay. I'm still number one was last week and I
It
can't
was.
remember what it.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch
Yeah,
it because I was just trying to think like what else rhymes. Like again, like I said,
yeah,
once I get one in my head, I have to do it because I can't start. Once I start mixing everything up,
yeah,
I'll be like,
yeah,
be
yeah. We'll
like,
revisit we'll revisit that one because that one was cute.
it
How
was.
was your week? How you doing?
I'm good. I was climbing last night up some tall walls. Always a pleasure with
Yeah,
our
I
girl
love that.
Rachel.
Yeah,
hmm
fun.
She's such a incredible climber.
Yeah,
Like
she
it's like she do you top rope ever?
yes, I love
Okay.
top roping, but more than bouldering actually.
Okay. I'm starting to convert. I'm starting to be a converter to top rope. But like I convinced her cuz she's done a few 512s and I convinced her to go on one because she's like, I don't think I can do it. I'm like, well, let's just try. And she gets to this one point, she goes, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know either.
Make it up.
I'm like, I'm not
That's fun.
that good. So you're way
I just
better
want to
than
see, yeah, I just wanted to see you do it.
yeah, but
Yeah,
she got like three quarters of she got up past the first like kind of tricky area with relative ease. With the second one, she was like
nice.
trying to yell down to me, and I'm like, I don't know.
Don't ask me, like, just move,
I
just go.
know. I'm like that thing that you're trying to do looks good.
Yep, yep, yep. You look good to me. Looks good from down
Your
here.
butt looks great, girl.
Job,
Keep
yes.
going. That is,
Yeah.
I've actually yelled that before. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be
I,
yelling that around a bunch
I
of
have
strangers
two. I'm so inappropriate. It's like,
because she'll like end up in full splits at a certain time, just
right.
complete Rachel. So,
That's
but yeah, no,
funny.
I'm good. I see you got
Good,
your
good.
hair done, so looking
I
cute.
did. It's in its way, so I don't have to worry about it for the next few weeks. But I think I just lost, like possibly lost. It's hard in the like modeling world because all my pictures are with my natural hair.
Mm,
So like I was kind of like, all right, well, I got my hair done, so here it is, and I wouldn't mind taking it out. It would have been annoying because I just got it done Friday, but
right.
I always have to say like willing to take out.
Mm.
And but they were like, no, you're released, and I was like, bummer. So yeah, so it's great because I don't have to do anything when I wake up. But it's a point of we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and that's a good segue for our guest because our guest would
Yes,
know a little something about modeling,
a little bit.
a little bit. So I'll let
Okay.
you go and do the
All
intro
right.
this week.
Well, we tonight have Miss Robin Harris. She is quite a boss lady, creating her own businesses. Former model and still to this day is. She's an entrepreneur. She's a philanthropist, and above all, she's a really badass mom. So, without further ado, Miss Robin Harris.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me on, Phaedra.
Um,
Thank you for that lovely intro. And what's
you're
up, Miss
coming.
Shelley? Good to see you.
Good to meet you. Yeah, yeah. So thanks for coming on. And yeah, as a model, how would it be for you if you changed up your hair?
It's tough. No, it's tough. It's tough. You really do have to have a disclaimer sometimes, and you have to plan out like your hairstyles too, and kind of communicate that with your agent saying, hey, I'm putting in braids this week,
I did
submit me
not
for
do that.
things that's okay with braids, but it is an ordeal when it comes to African American women who model and their hair. So I can relate, but I'm really straightforward. Like, hey, it's gonna be short this week. Y'all need short, y'all need long, because I
Yeah.
switch it up. Phaedra, no, I switch up my hair
All
all
the
the
time. I
time.
love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So next
So-
week I might have a nice little cute bob, and the next week after that it might be 50 inches down my back.
Nice.
But it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah. So we'll kind of into that. So we do if anyone has seen like the promos for here and has gone on to just get a little backstory from you, they can obviously see your pictures and obviously see you are a beautiful woman. And you have done you've been in the modeling and industry for a long time. So if you want, or if you can, we just kind of always like to start off with, give us a little of your past history on, where you got started with that up until, the recent present time.
Yeah. So, way back in the day.
Way back.
Way back.
Very
Let's take it back. And since we are still in Black History Month, I actually started out with Ebony Fashion Fair Tour. If none of you guys know, that was an historical fashion fair tour or fashion tour where they got 12 models from all over the country, and you traveled to 182 cities by bus or by plane. And the lady who spearheaded it was Eunice Johnson, and she was the first to do it. But that's how I got my start. That's how I met my husband as well. Yes, so it was 2 male models, and then you had 10 female models from all over. Right.
Man, he had some great odds.
He did.
But I will say Norm won out on this one. So I don't even know what the other women look like. But like Sherry said, you won. So
I'm gonna tell him that. But so that was really cool for me, coming from a Chicago girl from the West Side, you know what I mean? Growing up in Maywood and then Naperville and all that stuff. I was able to travel the country and do what I loved. And after I was done with that, I got signed to an agency, one of the top agencies in the world, Ford Models. Did that forever. Continued to travel the world, which is amazing. And then it kind of messed with my mental health a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I'm a grown-ass woman, and I'm actually getting my master's while I'm doing this. So the behavior and the culture behind the scenes was almost like as if they were talking to me like I was starting out and I needed to be spoken to like that. And I was like, not feeling this. Let me bow down before I curse somebody out and mess up my whole reputation of we want to work with Robin. She's great, this, that, and third. So I had bowed out after a long period of time because it messed with my mental health. And I was really just getting frustrated with the way the culture was when you say certain things to models and when it's just a really odd culture.
I mean, people treat models like pieces of meat, right? Not but every model is a actual human being, right? You can't speak to people like,
right,
your left boob is gross, or you know what I mean,
right,
I don't like your teeth,
right.
You're getting your period and you're a tad bit inflamed for that week, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, you can't be. You cannot.
Or you get
gain 2 pounds.
You get a weird bruise on your arm, all these little things.
So it was really rough towards the end for me. Bowed out of it, and I was like, what else am I capable of? I got my master's degree. I traveled the world. I was used to making a certain amount of money, different from a 9-to-5. What else can I do, other than model? So I started the fashion brands that I'm sure you guys want to talk about later. But when you fast forward after that, COVID happened, and then I got back into modeling because they wanted real family. So I had my husband, I got my daughter, and I went to this agency, and I was like, hey, look, before we sign any papers, I need you to know that you can't I won't accept clients who treat me as if I'm just starting out, or who's disrespectful, or who comes across as racist, or who comes across as this, that, and the third. I really had to set the tone this time, and it felt so good. It feels so good to come in and set your standards versus coming in as a fresh face and like, I'll do whatever else. I'll be quiet. I won't speak up for myself. It was just such a really interesting way to get back into the modeling. So now I do it again, but at my own leisure with my husband and my 8-year-old daughter. So
lovely.
Long story short.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. That answered the question. I want to go back a little bit because you had talked about the mental health, and I think this episode is going to reach out to, I know, a lot of individuals in my world that are looking to get into modeling or thinking that this might be a great thing to be. And I've always done this kind of part-time because it's fun to, I got chosen to do something, and it's not easy. It's like you're either putting in all or nothing kind of in a sense, if you want to be really good at it, especially starting out, and how I've seen it. So for you going into this, because you went in, you got a great start with Ebony Fashion. And so, that's all African-American women, right? And men. Yeah. So you start out with that, and then getting into being more diverse, getting in with Ford, did you see, what were the challenges? Ooh. And did so some of the challenges, you don't have to go through all of it, but whatever you're comfortable with that you found, and if that, if it sets you to a different standard, and if that involves like part of that mental health, those mental health issues that you started having.
Yeah. So, going and getting signed with one of the top agencies, they actually have very few African-American models. And when I would come on set, I was sometimes the only one. And when it came to like fashion shows, I would still always be the only one. And for me, I had a problem with that because here I am coming from where my skin tone was the norm, you know what I mean? And you travel the world versus you being at work and your skin tone, you're the minimum. That messed with me a little bit, only because it was a bittersweet. It was like, oh, you're the token, but then it was like, well, damn, it's so many more of us. You know what I mean? You can show so many more varieties of us. I was the tall girl with the straight hair. You got tall girls with curly hair. You got tall girls with, all these things. And for me, it was just, it was tough. It was tough because it was bittersweet. It was like, you got the job. Period. Like, that's exciting. Yeah. But then it's like, well, I'm on set and no one knows how to do my foundation.
I was just about to ask, this is on all of our mind, because I'm thinking of, how old we are, right? And thinking of this, of how much of the time did you have to do your own makeup and your own hair?
Yeah. So that was a huge thing. It was like, oh my God, what is going on? You are a makeup artist. You should know how to do every shade in the book. You are a hairstylist. You should know how to work with natural hair and, extensions or whatever have you. What is going on? So luckily, I knew how to do it. And I had to sometimes get my makeup done, be quiet. And then once I had a break, go and like match my skin tone in the bathroom so I won't look crazy. So that was, still really tricky and kind of messed with me a little bit. And then when there were times where they were like, oh, you're too big. And I was like, this is the skinniest I can get. Yeah. This is the skinniest I can get. I am not only African-American, but I have hips, I have boobs, I have these things. And on top of that, I'm not 16. I'm like, at this point, what, 20? I was 23, 24. I got a late start, but a good start, but a late start. Right. So to be compared to a 16-year-old body, you know what I mean? Yeah. That kind of messed with me, because it's like, okay, well, let me try and lose weight. And the more I tried to lose weight, the less I felt, it messed with me mentally. So I was like, you know what? No, this is not healthy. Like I said, we're going to fast forward to me getting a master's while I'm doing modeling. It was like, I'm smart. Like, I could do better than this. Like, this is not what life should be about. Worrying about what you're eating and, feeling if you have value on set, you know what I mean? Or feeling like if you're going to be replaced if you say something back, so all of those things kind of really was a balance. And I had to compartmentalize my emotions because I did get booked because of not just because of who I was, but because who I was signed with. So I didn't want to mess up that reputation.
Sure.
But the Robin from, west side of Chicago is about to come out. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all, I'm gonna bow down or bow out, pardon me.
Yeah.
Before I lose it. So I didn't have anybody talking to me about like confidence, or rejection, or hey, you have to eat this way, or they're going to say this, or you have to present yourself a certain way when you're behind stage because people talk. I didn't have any coaching. Nobody from my family knew about this world. So it was tough, but it is what it is.
I mean, the rejection piece, right? Like anyone that does performance stuff. I mean, for both of you, how many no's do you get for every yes?
All the time. For me, all the time, because I'm now like with being culturally ambiguous, it's like I have gone on so many, and I'll see the commercials now that I've auditioned for, and I'll be like, oh yeah, because they put me in mom roles now because I'm over 40. And I put on a cute sweater and I wear my glasses and they're like, no, you're not a mom. No, I'm not.
Yeah. You do go through a lot of no's before you hear the yeses. And that can also mess with your psyche as far as, man, am I good enough? Is this what I should be doing? Questioning your value, tearing down your confidence. You know what I mean? So it's tough, but it prepared me as an entrepreneur. And I hope we get into that. But all those no's, moving forward to this journey that I'm on right now, it was like, those no's, that meant y'all weren't meant for me. Like, y'all not ready for me. I don't need you. If you're saying no to me, that means that door was not supposed to be open. So I look at it differently now, but when I heard the word no, or, hey, you got released, or, hey, they canceled or booked somebody else, I was like, confidence just down, shot.
What did you get your master's in?
International business.
Ooh, nice. Fancy.
Yeah. So did you, now moving forward past that, I imagine the, all that you had just talked about and the whole look, right? Like you were tall, and from the pictures that I've seen, and you can see some of that, how the modeling society affected you because very much. And at one point, not healthy, still beautiful, but you could see where that influence was. And so I think when you decide, what I feel is like when you decided that enough's enough, and then we go into you're like, I'm gonna make clothes for people who for all shapes of us all. So let's get into your brands.
Okay.
And maybe like your mentors for that too.
Yeah. So once I decided to step away from modeling, I picked up quite a few things. I picked up that you felt great when you wore amazing clothes that was tailored to your body. I picked up that those same clothes that was tailored to your body is not on the racks. We need 6-foot models in size 0. It's like, okay, where are the long pants that I had on the runway? Where are those? They're not in the department stores. So I picked that up. And then I also picked up a different style and aesthetic. And connections as well. So gathering all this information while going through this crazy mind F at the same time, started the brand Model Atelier, which is exclusively for I call us the vertically blessed. Okay. Some of y'all might know us as tall. She tall, man. You see her, she tall. We are vertically blessed. And that was like something so good for me for several reasons. I had to prove to myself that I was more than a pretty face, more than a model. Then I also had to prove to myself, or I was pregnant at the time too. So I wanted my daughter to only know entrepreneurship. I didn't want her to know the model side. It's like, I don't want her to look at me like, oh my God, my mom's always working out. Or, she's barely eating. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to know that.
You want to model healthy habits. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be a good role model. So, Model Atelier became the first official fashion partner of the WNBA Chicago Sky,
I was going to
which,
say the number of women that you dress for the
yeah,
draft and all
yes,
of that.
Yeah.
yes. So,
Incredible.
thank you. So I knew that
And
I
the
wanted
looks
to.
were like beautiful. And
Thank
and that was the thing.
you.
It was like each piece, you know what I mean, was like its own like work of art. Like, and you know what I
Oh,
mean? It like
Yeah.
matched
yeah.
the player. No, I love them. I was like, look at these. Like, and
Thank you.
and what did you say too? You were like, you feel confident when your
Yes.
clothes fit, and like every single one of them looked so like happy and
Yeah.
confident and like
They
vertically
exuded that
blessed. Yes.
yeah, they exuded that confidence. So I
Mhm.
found my ministry.
Yeah.
Fashion is my ministry. Like I love to make women feel good through fashion, whether it's through a suit or whether it's through a t-shirt that
Mhm.
has something empowering or inspiring on it. So the mentors I have for that, Phaedra, I didn't have many. I had fashion designer friends who I model for, who I had to
Gotcha.
call and be like, "Hey, do you know somebody who can make?" I have this design in my head. I kind of sewed it, but it's not cute. It's not ready to like, present. Do you have
Right.
somebody who can, tailor this and make it really nice and all those things? So I did have some fashion designers who, kind of pointed me in the right directions and gave me, the right contacts and things of that nature. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
But I took a lot of my inspiration from just my previous experience
Mhm.
and what
Yeah.
I liked. I love classic, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love tailored, even
Yeah.
though that's not everybody's lifestyle, but I feel like those are the things that's really hard to find when you
Yeah.
do go to work or when you do go on a red carpet.
Yeah. I something that, and I bought a few of your pieces, which I
Yeah.
love. And so the blue
Yay.
dress Sherry that I wore to that wedding is one of her designs.
No, wait,
Yeah.
hold on. And I think I still have it as a
When
That is my
you bought that dress, when you put it on, I almost fainted. I was like,
I was
"Oh my
and
God, you gotta
and the
have it. It looks so
and they
good."
did. Oh, I love and the color and everything.
Yes.
And then I
Yeah.
bought the zebra dress and I
Yeah.
felt the same way. And it was
Yeah.
never anything I would ever buy. And I'm like, no, feels and it feels so great. And I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
oh my
Thank
God,
you.
I can't
Yeah,
believe.
you are a
Hold on.
huge supporter of the brands.
I
I
I'm not
adore
your
you,
tallest
Phaedra.
client. I'm probably on your shorter side of clients, but
You
I
you are you are my
yeah,
tallest client, I think was 6'9",
yeah,
6'9". That's a
I
lot of
believe it.
leg. That's a lot of
Yeah,
leg. That's a lot of
yeah.
torso. Yeah, your tall girl problems was nothing compared to hers. So
No, no, but that's awesome. And then just to be able to make so because it's already, I think, awkward. At some point in our lives, you being that tall, you feel already out of place.
Look,
I'm
and
like,
she can
and I
squat
can
in
move
the
it.
dress.
I gotta tell you though, that was the sweatiest day of my life because
Oh my
that
God.
that fabric did not breathe at all. So I was dancing and
such
like
you in.
when I took it off, it was just like scuba gear. Like I was
Yeah.
sweating so bad,
Oh,
but I
but
loved it. It was
you
fine.
look so. I'm gonna find the actual photo of us while so if you see
Yeah.
me doing, because I had that one on my back.
So yeah, so then, and I think I met you when you had, so you were still doing Model LTA, and then you had started a new project, and and you've been talking a lot about confidence,
Yes.
flavors of confidence,
Yes,
and
I see
so
it.
that idea then kind of sparked, and I met you at a workout class,
Yeah.
Joe's workout class. You had
Oh,
started kind of getting back into
fun.
it.
Yeah, I was getting back into it. I was at a when you met me and Big Joe was, training us and working us out. I was at a point where I was exhausted. I didn't feel like myself. I'm recovering from this mom body, you know what I mean? Never been pregnant before. Now I got this jiggle, this stomach, like
Yeah.
and starting a business and a baby. I
She
was
was
just
a baby. That was
she's
like
a
7, 8 years
baby.
ago.
Yeah, so
Oh my
you met
God.
me where I was all over the place mentally. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm a business owner? What? I'm a mom? What is this body? What is going on?
It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
So I started another company or another fashion brand called Confidence Apparel. And that stemmed from something was missing from Model Atelier. I didn't feel like I was doing enough, like giving back. I felt like I was just catering to a certain group of people, and my heart was still with like youth and young adults, or the woman who isn't tall but still need a boost of confidence.
Hi, I'm 5'4".
Oh, scary girl. Okay, so I wanted to continue to use fashion to empower, so that's where Confidence Apparel came about. It's t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, blazers, really cool casual stuff with positive messaging on there. And then we use the proceeds to cover mental health programming, which then the programs that it covers is free therapy sessions for Black and Brown kids. And that gives me the most fulfillment. That gives me the most, I don't know, I just feel like God is gonna be like, well done, well done. It's bigger than a t-shirt. It's bigger than, it's almost bigger than the giving back too. I just feel like I'm creating a new ripple effect in people's lives that they won't ever forget.
Now, do you design all your pieces, or do you have a team of designers?
I do. I have my husband and I have my 8-year-old daughter. That's my team.
So that's
that's my team.
Hold on, I have the dress.
Right yes, look
at her. Oh my Lord.
I love it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, that is a beautiful. So you designed all of it.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm just like so flabbergasted when people make like clothing, because like when people have a skill that I don't have, I'm like, tell me everything. Like I must know, like do you like see it in your head? I mean, do you just sketch it out, or do you start like sewing? Like, tell me everything. What's the process?
Yeah. So the inspo comes from a variety of things. Like I'm inspired by boss women. Like, oh my God, how can I make her feel more confident? Or where is she going this weekend? What can I design that will make her look so elegant and so sexy and so confident? And then also I get my inspo from just how I would want to see myself, a tall woman. Let's just say I'm in a boardroom, I need on a nice suit. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily need on a fitted dress. I don't want the people to be getting distracted, but I need a nice suit, that fits me, that's so nice and tailored. And it's just something about, a woman with clothes that fit her body frame. Yeah. No matter what size you are, you just look beautiful.
You seem to do like bold colors, clean lines.
Like
not like prints, not busy, but just let the clothes fit for yourself. And I mean, one thing I do know about clothes is what's the easiest thing to put everyone else in, right? Something stretch, right? Something that has give, but that shows everything, right?
Yeah.
And it is a lot like that tailoring piece, right? That nice, crisp. That's hard. It's hard for anyone to find.
Yeah, so it's a process for sure. It's a lot of trial and error, with the blazer, or a lot of trial and error with the pants. It's like, oh, that crotch is too high. This is not working out for the tall girl, or those sleeves are not long enough, or So I had tall models, fit models. This is things that I learned as a model. You need a fit model, to put the clothes on or the samples on and all that, and make sure that your designs are perfect. So that's part of the inspiration.
How do you choose a fit model as well, right? Because a size 12 can have so many different, you can be an apples 12, you can be a pear 12, right? You can be a box 12.
Like,
that's such a good question. I had to learn that the hard way. I was like, I'm just going to choose a tall woman. And when I got into this tall genre, all talls are not created equal. Like you got tall and curvy, you got tall and athletic body frame, you got tall and, all these different body shapes. So I had to pick and choose based on the design itself. So if I was doing a dress like Phaedra, that fit model is tall and curvy. If I was doing a suit, that fit model would probably be tall and athletic, and I would want to cinch in her waist, like
Yep.
give her a shape. So even though she's probably, straight up and down or have a wide
Yep. Mm-hmm.
waist or whatever have you, I would, tailor it to make sure that she has a snatched waist or it appears to look that way. So those are things that I had to learn the hard way. Because at first I was like, I'm just going to get one of my model friends, It's like, no, everybody's not shaped like that.
Right. And then when you're going from like a size 8 to a 10 to a 16, like, because some brands just make everything bigger, right? And so you get weird proportions. So do you have like a fit model at like every interval, or
not every interval? No,
I mean, it's probably a little excessive, but
yeah, no, not every. And that's difficult when you're a startup company too, to do all that.
Yeah.
But thank God I do have friends who are in all shapes and sizes and happen to be tall. So I'm able to kind of call on them and be like, hey, this will look good on you. Do you mind being my fit model for that? And then with the process, you do have grading. So depending on your grading team, and what that means is, like you said, they make everything bigger. We don't necessarily make everything wider.
Right.
It's like every is wide and long. Is like you can't
the proportion needs to be correct.
Exactly. So there's a process when it comes to making sure that it fits all shapes and sizes.
Yeah. I mean, sizes are like, I'm small. I'm like, most likely a 2, a 4, potentially a 0. I don't have a lot to choose from, but you know what I mean? When when the size gets, it just seems there's so much variance, right?
Yeah.
And it just depends on where you're blessed, right? Are you blessed in the boobs? Are you blessed in the butt? Like,
right.
And it, even the simplest thing, like ordering a dress from like Rent the Runway or something like that, it's like, how do you choose a size? And I'm like, even sometimes I have a hard time choosing a size, and I pretty much always, fit the standard, whatever it is. So I'm like, man, I don't know. That's got to be really hard.
It is for sure, especially if you're tall and you want to get a dress off the rack, like the hip area, won't align with your hip, or the waist won't align with your waist, or the sleeves, obviously, let that go. It's like those are going to be short. But
and y'all got to worry about having high waters. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to fix the problem. Those are called tall girl problems. I had to fix that and be the answer for that, and it's been a blessing thus far.
I love it. It's like you found like a niche audience, and then how did you get connected with the WNBA?
Yeah, Instagram. I seen this player who could have been a model, and I said, "Oh my God, she is gorgeous." Like, I just slid into her DM like a dude, like, hey, I'm a designer, I'd love for you to model my brand, and it just went uphill from there, because after I did a photo shoot with her and she seen that the clothes fit and worked, I just was like, can you make the connection with somebody who I can present this to at the Chicago Sky? And once I presented to them, then the LA Sparks was like, well, we want you to be our fashion partner too, and then the WNBPA, which is all the players, it was like, well, you need to be the fashion partner for all the players. And I'm like, oh my God. So Model Atelier really just took off. Like, it started from the DM to the Sky to the Sparks, to the PA, the WNBPA, to now the draft. The draft is very new. I've only styled players twice, or 2 years recently. And last year was the most epic year because they were so gorgeous.
How many did you style for that?
6. The top, it was 6. It was, I can't remember their places in the draft, but they were in the top 10. So 6 out of the top 10, which was crazy, because as you're waiting to hear their name called, it was almost back to back to back. Me and my team almost fainted. Like, they was like, y'all know everybody? Y'all can't be rooting for everybody.
That's fantastic.
How long does it take you to create each look? Like,
it takes,
because 6 in one day.
Yeah, no, that process started that process started. So the drafts are usually in April,
Mhm.
and the conversations start in January, February. A lot of
And
the
do
girls.
they? Oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say a
no.
lot of girls don't know they're gonna, put their name in, and then once they do, then their agent is like, hey, can you work with us? So I will say the business model for that was Motto Atelier also became fashion partners with sports agencies. So if
Mm.
anybody is watching this and want to take some notes, this is how we did it. We became sports partners with sports agencies. Those sports agencies have some of these draft picks,
Mhm.
and then we work our thing that way. I was not sliding in everybody's DM for the draft. they
Right.
they
That
they
makes
came to
sense.
me and was like,
Mhm.
Robin, can you provide this? So
Wow.
it's been an amazing journey.
Now, when you're providing these, when you start talking with the players, do you take an account and you're having conversations and you're designing something new? Because that's just like I think how players in any sport are. You want to be the freshest dress out there, right? So, do you take into account their personalities? Is it just like this road of like even like creating a piece of art for this one person? So is
Yeah.
that all included in the design as well?
Yeah, it's a process for sure. I get to take into account their personality, what they love about their body. Do you want to show legs? Do you want to be in the suit? You want to look like a boss? And then after you get all of the information, you have to make sure you're not designing the same look for the next person. It's like, okay,
Yep.
so how do you maneuver
Wow.
that? So I have a team. It's not just me. I have a team where we
Sure.
strategically make sure that everybody looks exactly how they want to look without replicating a look, because
Yeah.
they're going to be at the same place at the same time.
That would be pretty
Yeah,
awkward if you
that would
had two
not be cool.
pantsuits, two white pantsuits. Like, wait a second here. I
Right.
thought this was
Right.
this is my side. Now, are you working on this year's draft as well?
I can't discuss that right now,
I
but
figured you can't.
but we would have to see. It's coming
I
up.
figured I'm looking because it's that time, January, February, and it is that time where a lot of those top women are, either announcing if they're coming back or
Yeah.
if they're doing it. So I know you can't tell me, but your smile might tell me that I'm going to see some
You never
new
know.
looks
Never
in
know.
I
April.
might be, or I might just, leave on a high from last year. Like, oh, she did the top 6 out of 10.
Right.
Never
Well,
know.
maybe this
That's
year you
good.
got to get 8 out of 10 or, 7
Yeah.
out of 10 or branch into the top 15, right? Get 12 out of 15. Why not? Just get them all.
That, or, it could be just the number 1 or number 2. Those are hot players projected too. But yeah, I
Facts.
can't talk about it.
I
But
know
that
you
was a good
can't.
question
I
though.
know you can't, but I'm still
I
gonna
know.
ask.
That's so cute. So, I've been to a few of when we move in from the mod, like not the model, but yeah, but the fancy clothes, the fancy dancy clothes, and now we go into the confidence line. You
Yes.
were
I
getting
want it. Both of you are wearing it. I'm like, I want it.
Yes.
I'm gonna be jumping in your store right after this because I love Robin. I love the color of that shirt. Like that
You
is.
do?
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that. You should see my closet. There's like, Cher, do you have enough
Yes.
mauve? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if I do.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get another.
Yeah.
And you've done a lot with that organization, and can you go over some of and you did mention before, just how you give back. Talk about what that process is like, because it's not just like, oh, I'm going to start this, make some clothes, and then we're going to lemonade stand it.
Right.
Although it's very similar to that, but in a bigger, better way.
Right.
So how did that start?
Man, well, I kind of took some of the process from Motto Atelier. I connected the message with players. I said, hey, do you want to spread the message to young girls or young boys about power of confidence? I have this t-shirt. So I have this t-shirt that said, inhale confidence, exhale doubt. And like, oh my God, I can relate to that, you know. So I started to just kind of gift them the t-shirts and ask them to wear it whenever they're doing community, you know, things with youth and young adults. And then um, we, what did we do? We were with the Red Stars. I hope I said that right. The Red
Yep.
Stars,
Red
Chicago
Stars
Red Stars.
Soccer. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Obviously with the Chicago Sky, and then we connected it with a lot of the players. And then we started the online store because people that was driving, you know, traffic, people like, where'd you get that? I will support that. So we started the online store, and then now we have stores in Navy Pier, and we're opening up 3 stores this year. But the design process with that is so much more like, I don't know, what's the word? Spiritual for me. You know what I mean? I wanted young kids and young adults to know, don't feel confident just because you're wearing a logo. Like, you know how they wear these designer brands, and sometimes it even be fake, you know, but they feel confident, like, hey, I got it. I'm wearing this brand. I'm wearing that brand.
Mhm.
And that brand could give to whatever is about you. It's like, don't feel confident because you're wearing somebody else's name. I think you should feel confident, more intentional in what you wear if you're wearing a positive message. So for me, it was like, well, what do you want a young adult to display? Well, a lot of us, and definitely young adults, struggle with confidence. So it's like, well, why not start with the inhale confidence, exhale doubt, you know, and other things. So I'm probably doing this in a selfish way too, because I didn't have these kind of brands when I was growing up. So I'm really designing for the younger me.
That's fair.
I wish I had a shirt that said, you are capable, worthy, loved, and enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd wear that shirt every day just to remind myself and to remind somebody else who might be looking at me. So that design process is a little bit more spiritual for me. And then my husband comes into play, and he designs, you know, some positive messages for that tries to attract the male audience. And then my 8-year-old daughter, she came up with Future CEO, you know, and you know, dream big and just be what you want to be. These are all cool slogans. Yeah, that we put.
Be what you want to be.
Just be what you want to be. You know, that we put on really high quality apparel. So it's deeper. It's personable. You know what I mean? It's
That
something that I wish I had.
Of the Nas song "I Am," where he has like, you know, remember?
Oh, I know I can.
Yeah, be what I want to be.
Every time I sing that,
really went. So how, you know, you have this message of confidence, future CEO, boss babe, all of this with an 8-year-old daughter. How is it navigating her in this world where, like, what we know, when we were growing up, we didn't have social media, or we didn't have all the bombardment, but we did have other, like, you know, we had fashion magazines that did not show anyone that you know looked anything like outside of, like, you know, the Nikki Hilton, the Cindy Crawford.
Right.
So talk to me kind of like how you take stuff from your youth and take it onto your daughter and help her navigate this world.
Yeah. So we started out, I knew when I was pregnant, I knew that I wanted to instill in her the power of confidence. Growing up, my mom didn't instill the power of confidence to me. When I say that, I mean like speaking encouraging words, right? So when she was like 2 years old, we do these affirmations that said, I'll tell her, repeat after me, I am bold, I am brave, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that. And then now, fast forward 8 years old, I have her look in the mirror and I say, tell me who you are. And she go, I am strong, I am dedicated, I am loyal. So she has these things, you know, implanted in her from when we started saying it, and she could barely pronounce the words at 2 years old. And her seeing, because she sneaks and go on my Instagram. Lord. And I'm not ashamed. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed, but I did hear her say, "Oh my God, Mom, you have all these followers and all these likes." And I cringed because I was like, I said, listen, that does not mean a thing. If Instagram disappeared tomorrow, that, that it doesn't make me, so don't look at the followers and the likes and, the pictures as a sense of value or as a sense of, completion. And she was just kind of, I can see like her brain like, oh, okay, I hear you, but, and when she said that, I had to realize that we have to really have this conversation about social media now.
Yeah.
Like, because she was impressed by that. And for me, I was like, like, this is all really business, really in private. And prefer not to,
your Instagram is your company.
It is. It's your company.
It's like, I prefer even not to have it, but I got to, so I have to have that conversation with her. But we'll have moments where, I tell her, and she's modeling too. And there was no, but it was tough because she got released from a job last year, and she was so excited about it. And they released her, and I had to go and have that conversation, saying, "Hey, this does not mean that you were not worth it. The client might have changed her mind or whatever have you, but it broke my heart." Sure. So yeah, it's a lot of things that. My parenting style with her comes from what I didn't have, the speaking the positive affirmations or the reassuring her when she got rejected. And, at 6 or 7 years old, however old she was when she got released from that job. And then also talking to her about like designing, like she loves to design, so encouraging that gift in her. And then also letting her know to balance her confidence and pay it forward with the kids in her class. Because she's the tallest in her class.
I bet she has 2 tall parents.
Right. And, she's the only child. So I'm talking to her like I'm talking to you. So she could come across as a little older, what I mean? Because this is how we communicate. So there's like waves of like trying to instill confidence and then it coming off as you're being bossy or arrogant or, she thinks she's all that, She got her hair done today or yesterday and came to school and she said, "Mom, my classmates told me don't think I'm all that because I got my hair done. I'm acting a little sassy." And my first reaction was, "Well, were you acting sassy?" She's like, "Well, maybe a little bit, but I wasn't like coming across X, Y, and Z." So we have to have conversations about stuff like that. When you get your hair done, you feel confident, but you can't come across as whatever.
Yeah.
So it's so and
were you?
I get it. You get your hair done, you be hair tossing.
Like
right.
This also,
right. So yeah, it's a beautiful journey. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's just I just know it's so much more we're gonna have to discuss because they're being bombarded with social media and natural hair, you know what I mean? And skin tone. She's dark, she's brown. I'm brown. Daddy is darker than I am. She's chocolate baby. Like loving your skin, you know what I mean? Loving your natural hair, all these things.
She got Fenty now for makeup. I mean, just like the things that she has now,
access to.
The access, right? Like, because and I say like, oh, the social media is bad, all this, but we have so many other things that are going to be great for her.
Yes.
As well, like so many advantages that she's going to be able to experience. She's not going to have to bring her own makeup to a photo shoot if she becomes a model. Like, it's you see there's so many different brands, right? It's not just Fenty. It's all these brands that are out, all these different shades. Like
that's being inclusive. Yeah. So it's I hope I answered your question. Didn't go on a tangent.
No, but I love it. I love it. It shows your passion. It really does. And I also, I mean, it's hard for her to get rejection, but like you see so many kids nowadays that are afraid to fail. And it's so important to, I mean, I learned it from sports, right? You don't always win, but I feel like kids have to learn as a child, as a teenager, that sometimes you're going to fail or you're going to lose or things aren't going to go your way or you're going to personally mess up, but that doesn't mean that you are, there's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
We learn from it, or we just, sometimes it's just not your day. Like sometimes they wanted something and we don't know what they wanted. It wasn't
Yeah.
you. It's not personal. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't define you. It's like, this is just a small page in your book. This little moment, this little incident does not define who you are for the rest of your life.
Right. Yeah.
But
Because
you
life is not easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's to help build up that resilience while giving her that support, right? You're not just tossing her out into the world and be like, good luck, bye.
Right. Right.
Giving her the guidance.
Yeah. And I think too, she'll be, if this is an avenue that she wants to pursue later on, the cool thing is that, you've had so much experience in this world. And although it's always changing and maybe even changing back, because it's an ebb and flowing industry, that you'll be able to instill with her. Like when you said, you know what, now we do it, but there's these, I have, this is the cutoff and I have these boundaries and, and being able to send her into that world with boundaries and understanding what she's going to want to do. So she's like, nope, I actually don't want to do this.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's everything that I've told you guys, I feel like was preparation for her and beyond.
Yeah.
Like the rejection, the hard to find, tall clothes because she's tall. She's 8, but she's, wearing a size 12. You know what I mean? For length. You know what I mean? So,
I can't believe how
she's 5 feet already. But
I'm 5'4".
She's almost tall as you. Yep.
What grade is she?
3rd.
She's gonna dunk on me next year, isn't she?
Is she into sports?
She is.
Her dad's an athlete.
Yeah, dad's an athlete.
Did you do sports growing up?
Volleyball. I did volleyball. I tried basketball and I was like, oh, hell no. Y'all out here rough. This is too rough for me.
Right.
I'm good with that. But volleyball is my sport.
Yeah.
All right. Volleyball is my sport. And Kylie, she's good at tennis. She likes to watch basketball. She's not like into like the trying to dribble and all that stuff. But tennis is her thing. And then she likes dance and, all the artsy stuff. But yeah, I think we're going to try and push her towards tennis.
Yeah. I see new tennis line coming out soon in the confidence line.
I know, right? Yeah.
I love tennis skirts. I've never played.
I was going to say, do you play?
I've never
played either.
I just look cute in the skirts, but I don't play.
Right. Your little tennis whites just out there looking all.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to go and look at all the different, slogans that you have. I will say one shirt that I saw from another brand. So Allison Felix, I don't know if you saw a sweatshirt that she released this month. It says, "Pay me like a white man."
Ooh.
That's I saw that. I felt
it. I also saw the price tag of it, $120. I was like, that might be a little much for me for a sweatshirt, but it's because I was sure about to go ahead and order, and I was like, pause that real quick. But just that boldness, right? Of like, I felt that. I felt that in my heart, and it's. I mean, obviously, she's tailoring it to Black women, but any woman, right? We
equal pay, yeah.
I mean, Black men too. Like, anyone that's not a straight white man, that's that shirt for him. And I just love come unapologetically, just
it,
Yeah,
that part. And I love that. I mean, like I said, you carry a message for you, but then it reflects, and you're really carrying it for anybody who see you wearing it, and hopefully it is positive. So kudos to her.
My shirt says, "I ran all the miles and I pet all the dogs." But I'm the queen of like t-shirts, stuff with sayings on it. Clearly, some of them are very inspirational.
I gotta get you some. I gotta send you some.
Oh,
you have, I mean,
get you a starter. I'll send you a starter pack if that's okay.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Yay!
I'm
What I do, and I've handed out your like what is it called? Your brand, because I'll wear some stuff. I'll be in line at the supermarket or something and be like, oh my God, I love, because I have, this is like a long sweatshirt
Yeah.
and it's like a sweatshirt dress, right? Well, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's supposed to be a dress, but I don't wear pants with it all the time. And so, and so people be like, oh, it's so cute. And I'm like, here's the thing. And do you have a favorite one of your sayings now that you've kind of created so many and now you're using verses as well?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Mhm.
my favorite one right now is Trust the Process with Jeremiah 29:11 underneath it. And that's just because it just resonate right now.
Yeah.
Jesus, as an entrepreneur, wife, mom, and wearing all these hats. I'm
Yeah.
like, you just trust the process. It's waves in his whole life of entrepreneurship, marriage, momhood, and all that stuff. So you just gotta trust it and enjoy it. But that is my favorite one right now.
That works. That works. And you wear, so the cool thing is about your designs in both aspects is you wear them, because I see you with all your fun events and I see you rocking your wear. Do you have a go-to outfit that you like? I mean, I think you had mentioned like the pantsuits and stuff like that. Is there something that you prefer when you go out? You're like, this makes me feel the sexiest.
Yeah, well, I'm in a different era right now, but before this comfort era, it was always like a bodycon dress over the knee, though. Over the
Yeah.
knee with like a really high pump,
Like, oh yeah.
a simple like necklace,
Yep.
hair down. That just made me feel like, what? I am here. I am sexy but confident, professional. That just made me
For
feel
sure.
so boss. Yeah.
And you looked at, I remember at the event you had, was it at that mini, no. What
Which one?
You
What
did
was
the
I wearing?
event. You had I think the off the shoulder dress. I know I wore the blue dress and I think you had a maroon
Oh,
one. It was at the
I was I was
car event.
Yes, I was at a car event. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was neon green, that
Oh
dress.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, neon green off the
That one,
shoulder.
I
Yeah, that was
I
so
love that
fun.
dress. That's a hot dress. And I had one of my friends who, she's not short, but definitely not like the tallest either. She's shorter than me, but she loved, like I was telling her about your stuff and she ordered one of the black, like the blue one. She ordered the black one because she's so just curves
Yeah,
all over and
yeah.
just so it does. And it just, your stuff, it's if it's not completely tailored to that person, could you do tailoring too? Like if somebody has something, will you do little things here and there or not so much?
Not so much. And then honestly, right now where I am, I have a team. So
Yeah.
like people can come to me for a couple things. Definitely not tailoring though. I'm not about to tailor anything. I got a team for that, but I will show you how to pose in your look. I will show you how to take a picture, stand up straight, all those things. I would style you and show you what works best for your body frame. I'm the go-to girl for like undergarments, letting you know, hey, if you're gonna wear this, you need to get this to wear right underneath it.
You cannot have a visible panty line.
All right, you're right. So I think I'm that person right now. Like, of course, I want you in my brand, but I want you to, once you wear it, know how to wear it. Feel confident doing it. Yeah,
very important. I might have a couple people I'm sending to you after telling you talk of that.
Right, I'm thinking, what women do I know
there's
that are
some
really
weddings
cool?
coming up this summer, and some people need the undergarments, especially because
it's huge.
I hate never to wear anything under, but it's important in some outfits to wear things underneath it.
Yeah,
and it can make or break that outfit, so that's important. Wow,
some things you just don't know. Yep.
As a small-chested woman, I always feel like I need a little push-up. So I need a push-up bra under. So I have all the ones with like the weird backs. But it's some people want support. Some people want to just not show nipples. Some people, like me, want to get a little boost.
Right.
Everyone has their thing of what they want. And I love it that you're thinking about the whole package, right? Yeah. There's nothing worse than seeing like a beautiful dress and you see like the back or you're like, I
Or
can't wear a bra with like.
right. Or you don't know how to pose when you're in this dress. It's like, I got this beautiful dress on. What do I do? It's like, well, don't do that. Let me show you how to do it.
I probably need to learn some of those tricks. I'll be trying in my little hallway.
But yeah, it's all those things, I love stuff like that. I love to do little things like that. And I feel like it makes a huge difference. And it's just a little piece of like model knowledge, that I'm just sharing. Hey, pose like this. Hey, get that undergarment, or
I
don't.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I thank you so much for coming. I have the one final question so we're at the very end of February, and I know I can't ask you about the NBA draft, but if we were to speak to you at this time next year, what would your dream goals be? Like, how would you feel you had accomplished 2024?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
This time next year, a good 2024 for me would be to have opened 10 confidence apparel stores nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just for the money, it's to spread the message. I
Yeah.
feel like people need it all over the US, all over the world. To have a home. We don't have a home. We have a condo. So even though we're not planning on having any more kids, I would love to accomplish having a home this time next year. Hopefully those rates go down, interest rates.
Yeah.
To start what am I trying to say? To dig in, to start the Confidence Innovation Center. So we have a piece of land that's been donated to us to build the Confidence Innovation Center, and I didn't even mention that we have a nonprofit.
And you just mentioned this 1 hour in. BTW, I started a whole ass nonprofit and building the center. Tell us about that.
Just real quick.
Tell me everything.
Real quick. So it's an innovation center that we want to build in the inner city community, and it's going to cover cool tech. So cool things about science, technology, engineering, entrepreneurship, and math. So it'll be like a small like Google playground for Black and brown kids who don't have access to these things, to get them experience in it, like to just even see if you like it. Do you like the code? Do you like the fun tech? And then also to create jobs within that community. And it'll basically be, the whole thing is, you are a product of your environment. And that used to be looked at in a negative way. You know what I mean? You're from the hood, you're a product of your environment. This is what you do because you were grown, because you grew up there. We want to change that narrative. And we want to make Black and brown kids a positive product of their environment because they have access to things that's going to matter 10, 15, years down the line. So this time next year, I hope that we break ground. We got the land free and clear. Now I want to break the ground and start the building and, really bring that to life and make that something beautiful in a community. So
exciting.
I love this.
So yes. And then for Model Atelier, for me to step down as the CEO, have somebody else do it, and me just focus on confidence and, speaking the message around the world, to everybody who Anthony Stewart, thank you, to be empowered. I just feel like there are so many things that's trying to be put in place to take empowerment away from a certain group of people. So this time next year, I want to definitely be the voice, in the right areas to let people know you got this, and you got what it takes and you can do it.
I love it so much.
We are here to help you with all that.
I know. I'm already thinking of like coding people that I know that work in that. Because my mom's ran nonprofits before. I do a lot of volunteer work. I love everything about this.
This is so great.
Yeah, I'm already thinking of people in my network, that because there are so many people that people talk about how do we change Chicago, right? How do we get it better? We focus on the youth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give the kids every access that they need. Like we need to pour money, we need to pour resources into children, and we need to show them that there are more things in life than having Instagram followers, or being a basketball player,
right,
or joining gangs, like getting into drugs. Like there are so many opportunities, in school, adjacent to school, the arts, all this stuff. And so, one of my tangents, girl, you got me on it, and I love it. I love it because
Thank you.
our children need it.
We need it.
Our future, our city needs it, and our country, but especially our city.
We'll need it when we're old, when they're taking over stuff. We want to make sure that we're making them smart to take care of us.
I know. I want someone, good, doing my senior care. Yeah, exactly.
For you, for me.
Right. Thank you. Well, Robin, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Great
you
story.
are way more than just a beautiful face. That is just one small component of you. The outside package is gorgeous, but the interior package is even better. And I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to having you be a leader of the Chicago community and really helping us all grow.
Thank you so much, Sherry and Phaedra. This was such a pleasure. I was so excited to be on, you guys.
I was so excited to ask you, and I was like, oh my God, I hope she's not too busy or not too cool to do that.
Oh, no. I was not going to say no, or I needed to make time for you, Phaedra, for sure. You have a special place in my heart. But no, you guys created a safe space for me to share this stuff. Sometimes I tend to be so private and just work in silence, move in silence, make moves in silence. Thank you for creating a safe space for me to share it.
Thank you for sharing.
All right. We'll see you later, Robin.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. I love her.
I know, right?
I love her. Oh my God. First I just saw her Instagram, right? And she was like gorgeous.
Right.
Hello. But wow. Everything that she's doing, even just like designing for the WNBA, it's just so cool, right? And then she's going to this whole nonprofit with
and she's so modest about it. She's like, oh yeah. And she brought up her building,
thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony. And she's just like, oh, by the way, I'm doing this thing. And it's and I love the fact that she is so modest and private. However, when you're doing things like this that are such big making deals, it's so great to be able to get out there. And I'm so happy that she'd said, we're providing that safe space for individuals to share, because, this gets it out there a little bit. And then people are like, oh, and, if anyone has questions or wants, to get in touch with her stuff, we can put up her contact, or at least her Instagram stuff.
Yeah, I'm already thinking of people that could be good, as they go along in this nonprofit world. I'm like, okay, this is a person that, has that, but
totally. And they're both really into fitness too. So over the summer, they'll partner with different fitness people and do different things. So she's always in the community, and I really love that. So we've had a lot of fun over the last 7-8 years now. I was like, wait, it's only been 4, but no.
I know. Then you do the math and you realize COVID was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
If you knew someone before COVID, it's way more than that.
And I always forget, that was a whole 2-year thing. Yeah. So, but she is great, and I'm so happy that she wanted to do this and come on, and that's great. And we had so I'm so proud of her, and she's, really doing some things. It's great.
I love it. And on that note,
this has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Bye.
Bye.